Watch as pro-Palestine protesters attack police and set fire to a restaurant with employees trapped inside after the Gaza peace deal was signed. Around 5,000 protesters amassed Saturday as part of an unauthorised march in the city of Bern, Switzerland, turning violent. Police said they managed to stop the mob from occupying train tracks, but attempts to engage in dialogue failed. Masked demonstrators broke through barriers and attacked law enforcement. 18 officers were injured in the clashes, 4 were taken to hospital. The owner of the Della Casa restaurant, Tobias Berghalter, told local paper Berner Zeitung he was stunned as rioters burned down his restaurant. He said the mob destroyed wooden tables outside with a hammer, stacked them up and set them on fire with fireworks. The flames soon spread. The building housing the restaurant is wooden. 10 restaurant employees were inside, trapped on the first floor with no chance of leaving the building, according to its owner. It was police water cannon used against the rioters that saved the building and the workers trapped inside. Mr. Berghalter said the building was a matter of minutes from burning to the ground. Police say 56 other buildings were damaged over the weekend with millions of euros worth of damage. 536 people were arrested. The local police chief said the riots were, quote, just about naked violence. Remarking on the mob's hypocrisy in demanding peace in Palestine while bringing such violence to the streets of Bern, the city's security director Alec von Grafenfried said, "It's a mystery to me how anyone could follow such people. I wouldn't follow such a bunch of filth." Switzerland was home to violent brawls earlier this summer after the death of a 17-year-old from Algerian origin who died after crashing into a garage wall, fleeing police on a stolen scooter. Thibaut Schaller, a city councillor in Lausanne, Switzerland, for the right-wing Liberal SVP party, was set upon after being recognised by youths of migrant background. They shouted fascist at him before dragging the man to the ground and stamping on him. The councillor managed to get away and took to X to demand Switzerland's streets be taken back from criminals, he said. Buses and trash cans set on fire in Lausanne in reaction to the death of the 17-year-old. Unaware of what it's about, I head to the scene. Some Antifa recognise me. 3 surround me, back against a wall, and they order me to leave. I refuse and ask what's happening, and 15 people come running at me from everywhere. I run away, take hits, then I manage to get away by running. I'm fine, but we really need to take back this city. Switzerland has until now avoided these kind of scenes, which have become more and more common in Britain, France, Germany and Sweden. Youths in balaclavas set bins on fire and clashed with police. 7 were arrested. Thibaut took again to X to point out there was no police presence when it all kicked off. Order was restored around midnight. Law enforcement say they were pelted with stones, construction site barriers, mortars, Molotov cocktails and pyrotechnic devices. Tensions are mounting across the Central Europe region. Germany has faced the glare of the press after an American model stepped in to protect 2 women from a pair of migrants attacking them, but sustained stab wounds to his face for doing so. And a court in Austria has ruled that Sharia law is valid in private business contracts.
We're living in a time of what feels like pretty significant social change, and it makes us question things that we've even taken for granted for decades. And one of those at the moment that people are wondering about is actually money. Is the money in your bank account safe? Should you be investing elsewhere? Are we looking at a potential global crash? What will it mean for your savings? Is there a way that you could be using your money that might be outside of government control even? Well, TallyMoney is potentially one solution. So I'm delighted to say that I'm joined today by the CEO and founder of TallyMoney, Cameron Parry. What is TallyMoney?
Well, at TallyMoney, you basically get gold you can spend. So we give people an individual account in their name, everyday account. They get a sort code and account number. They use that account just like they would pounds from their bank, but it's milligrams of gold that we brand as Tally.
Okay. Why would you do that, though? What is the benefit to the customer instead of just having a normal pound sterling account?
Gold's performance against the pound is above 11% per annum over the last 25 years on average. But we still need money in our daily lives, and we have savings. We know that it's good common sense and prudent to save up for things, not just living credit. You know, whether it's a holiday or a rainy day, your retirement planning, you need to have money in your life, basically, that you can rely on, that's dependable, that nobody meddles with, that nobody can weaponise against you, which is another element of government control when it's the government currency, which we could talk about another time. And it should be pretty simple and straightforward, and that's what we deliver at Tally. And really, we just want people to feel safe and happy with their money. There was a time when the bigger your bank balance, the more confident you felt. Now it's like, I need to do something with it. I can't leave it there. In Tally, you can.
Okay, brilliant. Cameron Parry from TallyMoney, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bev.
Pro-Palestine marches have also continued in Britain, despite the ceasefire deal being struck and Israel's retreat.
From the river to the sea, once again being chanted at a pro-Palestinian march, according to the Sunday Telegraph, does beg the question. There's a ceasefire. God willing, these hostages are going to be released in the coming hours. Why are people still marching and calling to globalise the intifada? I mean, this is just getting out of hand, isn't it?
Unbelievable. I mean, the ceasefire now crowd, they've spent 2 years chanting for a ceasefire now. Now they've got a ceasefire now, but they only wanted the sort of ceasefire that meant an Israeli defeat.
Yes.
This one is an Israeli victory, and they don't want that. So they're going to keep going about this, yelling about a supposed genocide, which never existed in the first place, and exists even less now that there's a ceasefire. But they're still at it. And the bit that caught my eye from this story was that there was a scuffle with some counter-protesters. And these counter-protesters were holding up placards saying simply, "We stand with Britain's Jews."
Yes.
And they were barracked and targeted with chants of shame for standing with Britain's Jews, and free Palestine. The police had to get involved and there were arrests. I mean, these are the sorts of people that we've allowed to take over our streets week after week, not just in London, but on October the 7th anniversary in Manchester.
Not everybody on a pro-Palestinian march will be not wanting to align themselves with Jews. Let's just be clear about that. But at the same time, I think the idea of shouting shame at someone for supporting the Jewish community at a time when anti-Semitism has skyrocketed sort of beggars belief, really. Where's the humanity at play in any of this?
Yeah, I mean, if you're attending a march where anti-Semitism is rife and you're not anti-Semitic yourself, I think you have to ask yourself some questions about why you're there.
Or maybe call out the anti-Semites in your midst.
Nick Dunning, GB News.